Hey, friends, welcome back to Harmony in the Hustle, the podcast where we talk all things resilience, reinvention, and resourcefulness in business and in life. And today's episode is a very important one because let me tell you, if you've been feeling like it's too late or you're too old to start over, to pivot, to start that dream business that's been maybe sitting in your heart for a while, well, this episode's for you. We're talking about why reinvention is the new resume and why your midlife advantage is the ultimate edge in the world we live in today. Okay, but let me start with this. I don't know about you. Have you noticed this? Everywhere I am turning lately, I am seeing reinvention, women, midlife, 50s, 60s, they're making big moves. They're doing awesome, great things. Everybody's talking about it. They're starting businesses, podcasts. They're succeeding. They're building businesses of 7 figures from nothing. You know, that they're launching brands. They're investing in real estate, jumping into AI, whatever it is. It's like this whole new rebirth of people in midlife. And it's just amazing to see. And they're doing it because something inside them has said, now it's time. Well, we're in a moment of a collective reinvention. And it's not about having all the answers. It's not about having the perfect plan. It's about having the courage to start again. I've spoken about it before, how I started again at the age of 50. And I had to learn new skills, new ideas, new everything to be able to move forward. And the more I realize and the more I'm seeing it happen, it's happening everywhere. You are capable of doing so much more. And this time in our lives is actually our advantage. So I want you to forget the old story that success only happens when you're young. Okay. That is old. It's like that should be taken out of our vocabulary now. It's an old myth. It doesn't exist anymore because according to Forbes, the average age of a high growth startup founder is 45. So let that sink in. It's not 25. It's 45. People are finding they become the most successful and the most wealthy after they've turned 40, in their 40s and 50s, and sometimes even in their 60s. So if the world's most successful founders are, starting at 45 and succeeding, what are you able to do? What are you capable of doing? So with life experience and resilience and maybe something to prove or an idea or a vision or a goal or a dream, what is it that you want to achieve at this time in your life? See, I've been preparing for my TEDx talk and I've actually coined my title, The Midlife Advantage, why your greatest success comes after 40. Now, this truth keeps popping up for me and reinforcing what I'm talking about, that this is the best time of your life. It just keeps popping up. And midlife, it isn't your crisis. It's your calling because you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. I've been saying that for a while now. And when you learn to start from your experience and use that as your launch pad, anything's possible. But let's be honest, many of us have had dreams that we've shelved. You know, I talk about putting all your dreams and goals into like this little shoebox, putting it at the top of your cupboard. You put all the clothes and everything on top of it. It's way at the back of the cupboard, covered in dust. And then you hit this midlife and you start to bring these, you find this, you crawl at the top of the cupboard and you find this little box and then you bring it out and then you go, oh, open it up, take the dust off the top, open it up. And you see all these dreams and goals and everything that you kind of packed away in the process of raising kids and building businesses and doing what we thought we were supposed to do. And then you look at these dreams and goals and you go, wow, did I have that dream and goal one day? I forgot about that. Yeah, I'd love to have achieved that. I'd love to do something now. I'd like to do that. And you look back and you start to get excited and reignited about what's possible because now you could focus on yourself. Now you could take that time to look at achieving that dream, that goal, that vision, that idea, whatever it might be. And you're seeing things differently for the first time in your life. So with the power of AI, digital tools, mentorships and communities, you can literally learn anything at all. And you can build something meaningful from exactly where you are, from your home. I mean, I build my business from my home. I do my keynote speaking and I run events and I do other things, but the majority of my business is built right here in my office at home. And I just want to say this to you, that no one is coming to give you permission to do this. But if you are waiting for a sign, I want this today to be your sign that you can go after what you want now, that you're not too late. I've given you the statistics. Get online, have a look at so many people succeeding, especially women, starting their businesses now in this time of their lives, in midlife, and succeeding. So why can't you? You know, your most valuable asset in this whole next chapter that you're stepping into, it's not your LinkedIn profile. It's not your online presence or your title. It's going to be how you figure things out. Your ability to pivot, your ability to grow, and your ability to ask better questions, to be resourceful. Resourcefulness will be your key through all of this. It has been for me, figuring things out, being resourceful, asking better questions, asking for advice, getting coaches and mentors around me, investing in myself, investing in coaches and mentors. They're the keys. It's not rocket science, but they are the things that will set you apart. And, I started my first business. Well, my first business, bricks and mortar business, was the restaurants. And I was 44 years old when we started that, with no experience. Okay. I had no hospitality experience, but I also had no experience in commercial leasing or team management staff. I had no idea how to construct restaurants and do these fit outs, but we did it. We ended up opening 3 of them. I figured it out, and I learned how to stack the odds in my favor. And that is a skill anyone can learn. You just make things happen. So if you start by saying, I don't need to have all the answers before I start, but I understand that I'm prepared to figure it out as I go, that is how you become resourceful. That is how you just get started and take the first step. I built a strong brand and business along the way, which I eventually sold. And was it scary? Yes, it was. There were days that were very hard and very scary. But what it taught me was you don't need to have the certainty and everything before you get started. You need to be resilient, resourceful, and believe that you can figure it out. That's what leaders do. The more I actually understand that it's not about your IQ, it's not about all your degrees and certificates and all of these things. That doesn't matter. It's more about your emotional intelligence when you get started in midlife. And your emotional intelligence is something that's earned wisdom, that you've earned. And if you take that with you, that is going to help you so much using your emotional intelligence, which you don't have in your 20s, but you learn to have it, and you learn and you eventually take all your wisdom, all your life experiences, all your grit, all your battle scars, and that becomes your emotional intelligence. That's the thing that will fuel you and lead you down that track. But here's what I want you to ask yourself today. What dream did you bury in that little shoebox? What version of you are you ready to reinvent now? And what would you do if you stopped needing permission and you just went for it? This is your prime. Midlife is your prime. This is your launch pad. Use this time in your life to launch yourself. And I'll say it again, reinvention is the new resume. People are reinventing themselves all day, every day. It's everywhere. Just get online and check it out. And if this episode landed with you, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your reinvention stories. And maybe you could even share it with a friend who's going through a reinvention phase right now, who's pivoting into something new or starting something from scratch. Share it with them. Let them understand that they are on the right track. They're not alone. More and more people are doing this right now. And there's more success coming out in this age group and in this time in their lives. And that to stay on track and learn to figure things out as you go. And if you're hearing this and it does resonate with you and you would like to work with me, I'd love you to go into my link in the show notes. And in there, you'll see the link to join my next chapter loading program, which I'll be launching soon. There's a waitlist for it. I'm working with women in midlife who are ready to launch, who do need a little bit of guidance, support on all areas to get started. So that's what I'm going to be launching. And it's a great community of women who are all in the same boat. We are in this reinvention phase, and we know that we are going to succeed and do great things and meaningful things. So if that's you and you want to get started with something like that, I'd love you to get online, get on the waiting list, and I will let you know when the event and the program starts. So Again, if this resonated with you, please share it with a friend and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you next week in Harmony in the Hustle. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Harmony in the Hustle. I hope today's episode filled you with inspiration, gave you some tips you can turn into action, and helped you find a little more harmony in your life. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who could use a bit more harmony in their hustle too. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so you can stay updated with all the upcoming episodes. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen. And until next time, stay in the harmony and remember, you've got this. See you next time.